Greetings. So this week, greetings, welcome. Okay, before we get into all the technicalities of everything, right? So I'm still flowing in this feminine energy from Friday. So yeah, I got my little bendy on. I'm feeling kind of excited about it, but that's not the point. But before we begin this meeting, I would like to invite you to go ahead and make sure that you get yourself either a candle or grab an incense to set the tone and set the mood for yourself during this Sacred Woman journal reading. This week we are going to be going through chapter 4. I know I put the videos out of sequence, so there was 2 or 3 went before 2 for the last one, but that was my mistake. So in chapter, okay, give me a second. So in chapter 3, what what you should have went over for the remainder parts of chapter 3. Chapter 3 was talking about a lot of womb wellness, womb health. It provided you with chants and meditations for the womb. And there goes my bendy. Okay, so it provided you with a lot of chants for the womb. Chapter 3 also was prayers for the womb. I think I said that. And I will be uploading these for real this week from my podcast channel so that you will be able to flow with these meditations in case you need them to just guide you through. So those will be uploaded this week, y'all. Please bear with me. Give me till like Wednesday or Thursday. I've been working on some things, so I really thank you all for your patience. And I really hope everybody had a great Mother's Day because we really didn't touch base with each other on Mother's Day. However, to all the mothers, wishing you well. To all the single fathers acting as mothers, or you're a single father. Happy Mother's Day to you as well. Because we have some of those out here. Now what was I saying? Talking about chapter 3. It also provided different stories from other women in regards to what their womb health has been looking like. The chapter also touched briefly on the feather of Ma'at and provided a Ma'at feather meditation. This is going to be located on page 60 and page 61. Y'all know I love my Ma'at. Hey girl, hey. So please make sure you tap in to those pages. Oh, and it also provided us some new moon and full moon rituals, which today we are in the energy of the full moon. So I'm just gonna dive I'm gonna read on the full moon meditation or on the full moon womb ritual, in case anyone would like to really dive into that themselves, right? So she says for the full moon, women's emotional and spiritual lives reflect the way, and this is in chapter 3. I'm going to start chapter 4 right after this, but I just thought it was important. And this is located on page 65. So, womb rituals for the new moon and full moon. Women's emotional spiritual lives reflect the ways of the moon and its cycle. As the moon is renewed through its waxing, as the moon is renewed through its waxing and waning in fullness, so too are the states of women. Tune into the moon through conscious meditation and ritual. Go out into nature under the new moon. Create a sacred womb circle if you are working with a group of women. Play your sacred instruments, drums, sistrum bells, etc. Begin your purification ritual using air, sound, and fire smudging. The woman elder, spiritual guide, or high priestess guiding the ritual is to smudge everyone present with the sage from head to toe. The woman elder is to call out to the name of the divine in gratitude. Then she calls out to the names of Khonsu Nefer Hetep several times as the son of Aman Amud Khonsu crosses the sky every night in the heavenly moon boat. He is an ancient deity of healing and regeneration. Khonsu aids women with fertility problems and the conception of a child, or the conception of ideas. And we know that our ideas are our babies, right? Because a business is your baby. Nobody's going to treat your business how you treat your baby. Nobody's going to treat your ideas how you cater and nurture to your ideas. Nobody is going to treat your child how you cater and nurture to your child, because it's not their responsibility, it is yours. So, then call out Tahuti's name several times. Tahuti is the guardian and the protector of the moon. Now call upon the guardians of the directions. See, and I do this, I call out to the directions. It's a ritual for me to do this like every day, and I've been doing this for a very long time. But adoration to the mother, Mutnet head from the east, Dua Natur, adoration to the mother, Moots Sekret from the south, Dua Natur, adoration to the mother, Moot Aset from the west, Dua Natur, adoration to mother, Moot Net from the north, Dua Natur, adoration to our heavenly mother, Net, adoration to our earthly father, Gel, adoration to Shu, breath, atmosphere, adoration to Tefnut. That was scary. Um, Drink Sacred Woman's herbal tonics in honor of the womb. Choose the tonic according to your need. For example, if you have tumors, use goldenrod. If you have heavy bleeding, use shepherd's purse. If your womb needs toning, use raspberry. If your womb needs strengthening, use dandelion. Y'all, in that last one, I love dandelion. I was talking about dandelion the entire time, like that whole story. Anyways, if your sacred womb circle is honoring the full moon, we are in full moon, ladies. Tap in, charge your crystals. Like, it's time. We charge our crystals in a full moon. In case you didn't know, now you know. Beyonce made a song about it. Y'all know that. Is honoring the full moon. All the women are to dance in a clockwise circle, echoing the full moon in their dance with flowing movements like the ocean of none. The dance is to move and lift the spirit and to acknowledge our ebb and flow that is cosmically expressed in the moon. Give praise for the visions that have come from the light of the moon. If your womb circle is having a ceremony for the new moon, pray for what your desire. Pray for what you desire, what you want to build on to manifest, a work to generate, a mission to unfold, a project to begin, a happening to take place. New thoughts, new visions, new beginnings are what we bring to the new moon ritual. Dance for new beginnings that the new moon brings forth. Dance for the new moon to acknowledge our visions coming of age. The new moon is also a powerful time to ask for forgiveness and to forgive wrongdoings, to rise to a new state of mind. It is a time for cleansing. Breathe deeply as you hold a clear quartz. Oh, I didn't even bring my crystals down here. I was supposed to. So you, in case you didn't know what a clear quartz look like, but clear quartz, they're clear. You got it. So to hold a clear quartz crystal or moonstone over your womb, flushing out old hurts and pains. Clear back to your beginnings. Give thanks for what has already manifested, the gifts that have already been received, the journeys that have come to an end. Give praise for the help that you have received. Close the circle by giving thanks and praise under the moon, under Mother Mutt, by dancing to drums, bells, shekri, and so on. Let the spirit move you. Give praise to Neb, Head, the guardian of the new moon. Together say adoration to Heaven Mother Nature for holding the moon and the sun in the sky. Keep a moonstone on your altar of Nut to support the harmony and healing of your womb. And that will complete chapter 3. Again, that was located on page 65 of the book. Right now, I'm playing some, this is some comedic healing meditation music in the background. There was actually, I just felt the need to like really give into that because I came across, and you guys, I'm pretty sure you have the book located on page 55, right? So located on page 55, those are actually flowers that the ancient Egyptians used. Some people think that they are blue lotus flowers, and some people think that they are the blue lily flower, right? Either way, I came across some blue lotus flower, which assists in lucid dreams. I have not tried it, okay? This is just what I've come across and what led me to, just speak about it because the flower was actually, it was very beautiful. It was a very beautiful flower. And one of my, what is the word I'm looking for? One of my enjoyments. There you go. One of my enjoyments is to really indulge in tea. So when I saw this flower, I said, maybe I want to try this tea and see what it will offer me. However, I was a little apprehensive because I haven't done any research on the blue lotus flower to this date outside of what's been presented to me in my comedic studies, which is just that it was something that was used amongst the ancient Egyptians per se. So yeah, I ran across that flower today and I was just like, wow, like, is this divine telling me to partake in this tea? Like, is this what I'm supposed to be doing right now? Because, if it's there when I go back to the shop, I'm probably going to try it and I'll let you ladies know how that went. But yeah, it was a beautiful flower. And they also had a tincture, like something to like drop on your tongue or whatever. So they had both of those. They had the actual flower itself, and then they had the drops of the substance, the essence of the flower, right? So back to a little knowledge. The blue lily flower is supposed to be used to heighten your senses of touch, of taste, of smell, of feeling. I said that one, right? So, and this was depicted a lot in the ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs, of just them having like, these what looked like to be sexual parties or a lot of like flirty low-eyed photos or something of that nature, right? But that's what the blue lily would produce, those types of enhancements in the bodies. Now, the blue lotus, as I stated earlier, is used to enhance your lucid, your dream state, which we need. It causes you to go inward. Okay, so and going inward is perfectly fine. Going inward is probably what I need to do right now. Ooh, we're not going to talk about that, okay? This is not a Dr. Phil and Oprah moment. But no, it is used to really go inward. It's used to help you meditate. And this is just some research that I came across. So don't, do your research and see how one or the other would be able to benefit you prior to trying it if you choose to try it. I'm not here to push. Any psychedelics or any mind altering herbs on anyone, because that's not what I'm here to do. So, excuse me. So, those are the two differences between the two. And before we actually dive deep into chapter 4 today, I would like to start with some breath work. I have my candle lit, which you guys can't see, so me pointing to it is irrelevant. But I will grab some sage. Okay. And clear the space. So when you do your sage, you want to make sure you clear your heart, clear your throat, and bring it around your head, however, right? Make sure you use an abalone shell or something to catch your um, sage burnt particles with, because I'm about to start a fire and Smokey Bear is nowhere in here. Okay, so yeah, cleanse yourself. Recite what feels right to you for this moment. I am asking that all negative energies that no longer serve us be removed, and that our hearts and minds are clear and able to receive the knowledge that is coming from this book. And that will just be burning right there, just to provide some clarity in the space. I also have some Palo Santo incense going. Oh my goodness. Sidebar. So I was thinking about teaching you ladies how to do make your own incense, because I make my own cinnamon cones and I love them. They are very, they get the job done. So if that's something you ladies are looking into doing, it's the cones, not the actual incense, not the not the stick, but just the little cone thing. Okay, so to go ahead and get started, sit up nice and tall. See how I was like slouching? It's bad. Sit up nice, straight and tall. Act like there is something pulling you from the crown. Okay, so of your head, something pulling from the crown of your head. All right, so we're gonna sit up nice and tall. I'm still gonna edit that out. I'm gonna sit up nice and tall. All right, make sure your back is in alignment. I would like to tilt my camera, but I guess this is fine. I'm gonna focus on our breath. Exhale. I'm gonna take a deep breath in. Place one hand right on your belly and place one hand on your heart, right? And just feel how your natural rhythm of breath is. And get into that. Right, and take a deep breath in through the nose. Hold that breath. And exhale. Take another deep breath in. And hold it. And exhale. Now for this next one, right? When you inhale, I want you to inhale prosperity and abundance. So go ahead, draw that breath in through the nose. So we're inhaling prosperity. We're inhaling abundance. We're inhaling better self-love practice. And then exhale any lack mindset. We're going to exhale negativity. We're going to exhale limiting factors, right? So we're exhaling all of those things and we're going to repeat. Inhale abundance. We're inhaling prosperity. Inhaling good self-love practice. And then we're exhaling anything that doesn't serve us. I really get into like my breath, right? So yeah, so I feel better already, right? So don't know how, but my book flipped the page. But we are going to be starting on chapter 4 with the care of the womb. I really hope that you ladies have been just, keeping up with your book. But here's chapter 4. And again, I'm not going to read the full chapter. I'm going to leave something or leave some for you all to read and do your self reading. This is really to get you started and, get acclimated with hearing the words and, get you into the book. All right, so all right, so for chapter 4, I've been on the natural living path for more than 25 years. At least 18 of those years I've been helping women. It was not necessarily my intention to focus on women. My commitment was to healing families. Nevertheless, I kept seeing a lot of women with health concerns, and they would inevitably have a problem with the womb. Their challenges ranged from high blood pressure to diabetes, from heavy menstrual bleeding to cysts and tumors. But I discovered with each of them that there was always some level of blockage in the womb. My clients' womb challenges led me to study womb herbs and womb foods, womb affirmations and womb meditations, and womb colors. To my amazement, what all this taught me was that you could transform your whole body temple by healing just one part of your body. As a colon therapist, I've come to truly honor that our miraculous bodies are made up of many worlds, and that we can focus on one world and see what's going on within our worlds, within our other worlds. This is on page 67, by the way. Take reflexology, for example. Your foot is a map of your whole body, from the big toe representing your brain to the arch of your foot representing your spine, the heel, the lower extremities, and the ankles, your reproductive organs. And if you've done any delving into I don't know, iridology, you've discovered that when iridologists look into your eyes, they can identify where all the blockages are and how they correspond to the rest of the body. All of my explorations into natural living and the healing arts have led me to one conclusion. The womb is the foundation to one of a woman's whole self. Y'all, I was going up a line. It is the defining sacred center of our bodies, minds, and spirits. Over the years, many women have come to me when they're facing a health crisis, such as having their womb removed. Rather than telling them not to have to schedule surgery, I would simply ask, how much time is the doctor giving you? That's an important question. Well, the doctor said in the next 2 months, or maybe even the next month. And then I'd offer another possibility. Let's see how much work we can do now. Perhaps there are alternatives worth exploring rather than just accepting hysterectomy as your only option. What grew out of my work is the concept that there is a nonviolent approach to womb wellness. It comes through being conscious of the womb's own wisdom and utilizing natural therapies that honor our whole being, including juicing therapy, live food, natural herbs, water therapy, movement and breath, essential oils, clay infusions, and applications. Eat to live. There's a toxic lifestyle that actually feeds tumors in the womb, breast, and other parts of the body. However, if we change to a natural flesh-free and limited starch diet, we can prevent growths and disease found in the womb, in the breast, and throughout the body temple. For example, mango, papaya, coconut water, ginger, sorrel, honeydew, celery, parsnip, and cucumber, plus all the many kinds of greens make our womb supreme. Y'all, speaking of papaya, right? I have been doing this papaya face mask. Okay, talk about skin glowing and popping and giving. It's not the two, but if I had a horn, I would blow it. Okay, but I will drop that probably on Wednesday with my face mask routine, or just it's just something I do. Me and my daughter both do it. I know I get excited when I do stuff with my kid, but so yeah, the papaya face mask. It's definitely one of my go-tos. But back to the chapter. Inhale thyself for health and longevity. I say that it takes love to feed a child. water to feed a plant, and milk, eggs, cheese, and flesh to feed a tumor. Okay. Um, what this means is that we have control of the destiny of our wellness. When we as women practice the principles of eat to live rather than live to eat, then we will eat ourselves into good health. The methods of natural eating presented in this chapter will support your womb as you recover from the poisonous non-live foods that contribute to dis-ease. Study these principles and techniques of natural living and become transformed. Whether you start off with your womb concerns, whether it's PMS, fibroids, heavy menstrual bleeding, infertility, or menopause, within 21 to 28 days of applying the natural living approach, you will begin to see changes. Our monthly changes cycles offers us a perfect form of measuring. You will see how your life will change from one period to the next when you become conscious of your womb and her wisdom. You will see how the rest of your life changes when your womb changes. Your attitudes will change. Y'all, your attitudes will change. How you look at men, how you look at your children, how you look at your work, how you look at your life, and you will begin to truly comprehend just how much is held inside your womb and how her state affects everything in your life. The sacred womb wellness approach. Y'all, I gotta tap in, right? Because me personally, I don't eat meat. I think I stated this in the first one. I am very much plant based. I don't eat eggs. I don't drink cow's milk. I really don't drink milk at all. Not even like plant milk. Um, like if a recipe calls for it, I may make my own oat milk, but I don't particularly like to buy plant milks from the grocery store either. But that's not the point or premise of what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is just how she discusses, how when we eat, how it can affect our cycle. Because I realize, when my cycle is getting ready to come on, like I want French fries, like, or I want greasy food, and I'm not really big on sweets like that. Like, I don't really like to eat chocolate, but lately I've had a kick for cacao, and that's different than chocolate, I think. But I've had a real big kick for cacao, but regular chocolate makes me break out. So I learned that early on when I started getting my cycle that if I consume too much chocolate, I would have the most hideous pimples on my face and skin um, prior to my period and the duration. Like I would just be like a hideous monster. So I stopped eating chocolate. Plus, regular chocolate used to give me a headache, so I had stopped eating it anyway. I'm like, I don't want to do that. So, but cacao lately is like I was saying, it's just one of the things that I've started I kind of forgot what I was saying due to the fact that I cut off. But I was talking about my cycle. Where the fact that eating chocolate wasn't really working, but just how food in general has affected the way my cycle is, how I respond to certain things, and me in general as a person, because when I was consuming meat, and the way that I definitely transitioned into my plant-based lifestyle. Like I went, like I wanted to see, and I talked about this in the last video, but I talked about it because she speaks about how eating is just so important. But I transitioned, right? So I cut beef out first, then chicken, then pork. One of those, right? Like I transitioned, but beef was actually the first one to go because after I used to eat my Philly cheesesteak, I used to go straight to sleep. But you know, I decided to leave all that alone, and I actually have I'll include it in the Discord link, some videos in case anyone is thinking about transitioning from consuming meat, just some videos, some health videos that you might want to see because of the information they provide. Now, let me tell you how these videos will not help you. These videos will not help you if you watch these videos and then go to a bunch of meat eaters and say, "Hey, I don't think I really want to eat meat anymore." They're gonna say, "Your grandma ate it. Your great great granddaddy ate it. We eat it." You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't take new ideas to people who aren't on that frequency yet. So stay in your lane. Okay, stay in your lane, right? And sometimes you just gotta coast in that lane alone. Sometimes it's not easy, but you can definitely get it done. To continue, we're back on page 68. To begin our journey into the care of our physical wombs, I offer you the following womb wellness visualization and affirmations. So, sacred womb wellness affirmation. Meditate on womb wellness. Visualize a well womb daily upon the rising and setting of the sun for what you see and breathe into your soul. You become. Affirm. My fallopian tubes are clear and clean. My ovaries are rich and filled with life. My vagina is a channel of purity. My uterus is radiantly healthy, for my womb is a sacred part of me. So you want to make sure you chant that. She says, in the rising and when the sun is getting ready to set. The sacred ancient mirror. Little mirror. Okay. Something for you to, we'll get into it. The mirror was first developed thousands of years ago in Kemet by polishing a metal surface to a high reflective shine. Mirrors were important, for they symbolized fertility, beauty, and protection. In ancient times, we didn't just use the mirror to see how we looked. When we gazed into a mirror, we knew that it not only reflected our physical body and beauty, it also reflected our spiritual condition and offered us an opportunity to view our very soul looking back at us. This power, oh my goodness, I have a poem in my poetry book similar to this, but this power is embodied in the Egyptian word for mirror, Ankh, which is also the Egyptian word for life. The mirror reflects and symbolizes childbirth, fertility, and protection. The Kemet people also use mirrors to banish negative forces and to draw in positive, right energy, as the ancient Chinese practice of feng shui still does today. Everything the ancients did was spiritually inspired. Even the faces of the mirrors were shaped round like the sun to reflect its penetrating power and vitality. Exploring your womb. Ex- Womb mirror self-reflection exercise. From an art museum shop, purchase a copy of the ancient Het Haru Hathor mirror. Hathor, Hathor, Hathor mirror, or create your own ancient mirror of the spirit. Take a simple, small, round mirror. This one's square. Okay, didn't have a. Okay, it's a mirror. Or create your own. Take a small, round mirror with a handle and beautify it. Paint it artfully, or glue cowrie shells onto it. I don't know where my little shell at, but she be chilling. Um, on it, or glue on silver, gold, lavender, or green sparkles, all while you're in the spirit of Het Haru, the spiritual garden of beauty. To begin to get to know your womb, take your spiritual charged Het Haru mirror with you to a quiet, private space in your sacred sanctuary, preferably where some sunshine is flowing through your window. Put on some soft music, strings, or flute or piano to create the right atmosphere of your womb journey. Sit quietly on the floor and breathe deeply as you meditate on Mother Nut for inner peace. Now, pull your dress up to the waist or take off your slacks and remove your underpants. Slowly spread your legs wide and place your sacred mirror between your thighs. Looking inward, take a long, deep, meditative look at the entrance of your womb. When you're ready, breathe deeply and gently separate the lips of your gateway to see further into your sacred garden. Meditate quietly on what you see. Stay with her for a few minutes and give yourself a chance to become acquainted. When you're done, bless your sacred gateway and thank her for sharing herself with you. Remaining in your inner meditative space, sit quietly and write in your womb journal. Record what you feel about this sacred part of your womanness. Get you a journal. All day free. Okay, so get you a womb journal. If you haven't, make sure you get it because you're going to be doing a lot of journaling, a lot of self discovery within these pages of this book, right? So, did you want to hurry up and get it over? Were you able to just take your time? How did she look? Pretty, healthy, smooth, inviting, weak, dry, moist? Was she foaming at the mouth? Did she have a drip? Did she smell clean, sweet, and natural? Or did she smell fishy, yeasty, or fleshy? What was she given? Has this sacred womb journey made you feel dirty or beautiful, embarrassed or ashamed? Is your attitude positive or negative about looking at the face of your womb? Because some of y'all be ready, my bad, that's not proper. Some women, I won't say y'all because that's not right, but some women are so willing to allow someone or the entire world to like look at their private parts like super fast. But have you taken a look at her? You know what I'm saying? Like, have you looked at her? Do you know what she looks like? Do you do a daily check on yourself to make sure everything is top tier in place where it should be? I mean, what's she looking like down there? During this exercise, back on page 69, during this exercise, know that a great deal of healing is taking place on the inner subtle planes. You might be scared or shocked at or at ease. Many emotions are going to rise from you, all carrying stored up information about yourself. Just let them flow. Fear not, for the Most High is with you all the way through your womb healing. As you tune into your inner womb spirit, open a dialogue. Talk out loud or in silence. Listen intently. Your womb is speaking to you through your womb mirror about what she needs in order to heal. My womb mirror adventure. I was reluctant to explore my inner self with my womb mirror for the first time. I kept telling myself I was too busy with other things. Then I finally said, it's time. So I went into my bedroom, sat quietly, and opened up my legs. I took the mirror and I looked at my room entrance. My first thought was, I've been here before. Then I said, this looks strange. Oh, you need to be groomed. Okay, you need brushing. I got some olive oil and a little lotus oil, and I just oiled her down. I said, oh, Mother Nut, I've been careless. When I opened the lips, I thought, they're very pink. You two look so beautiful. Let me let me try to think beautiful thoughts about what I'm seeing. I also saw who came out, who was left out as I did this profound meditation. All the different feelings, the babies that came through, the pain I had experienced from periods to infections to giving birth. You too will see different things in your womb. So will some will be physical, some will be spiritual. The womb mirror self-reflection exercise will be your moment of truth. Your moment to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I love you. I love you unconditionally. I love you even in my ignorance. I loved you when I didn't even know. I just love you. Send that love to your womb, even if you don't believe in the beginning. Remember, your womb mirror reflection are also a reflection of your life. Upon completing this part of your sacred womb journey, smudge your womb area. Take some sage, mugwort, it's a good cleanser. Um, Smudge your womb area carefully with sage smoke in the ancient Kemet way by standing over a small iron pot with a small burning charcoal round from a botanica over which you have sprinkled sage leaves and twigs. Or anoint the outer surface of your womb with lotus oil as you affirm and pray for womb healing. Be careful not to let the oil on the sensitive inner lining of the vagina. Perform this room, perform this room, womb, I keep saying room. Perform this womb ritual daily for 3 to 7 days or until you feel totally at ease with your womb or until your womb has said all she needs to say on behalf of your womb wellness. From time to time, when you receive inner guidance, repeat this exercise to gain greater womb wisdom and insight. The female reproductive system. It is now time to explore the physiology of the womb. I love this part. My bad. Physiology of the womb so that we can make an inventory of what isn't in balance. By taking a long, hard look at what is not functioning properly, we can learn more about our bodies and begin to follow the path of wellness as informed women of wisdom. The main reproductive organs, female reproductive organs, are the uterus, ovaries, fallopian tubes, and vagina. The uterus is a hollow muscular organ about 3 inches long, located deep inside the pelvic cavity. It houses the developing fetus. The cervix, the neck of the uterus, projects into the vagina. The vagina is a tube. Okay, the vagina is a tube about 4 inches long that receives the penis and sperm and serves as the birth canal. The fallopian tubes, we're on page 70. The fallopian tubes, a pair of structures, each about 4 inches long, join the uterus near the top. Their flared ends lie near the ovaries. The ovaries are almond-shaped glands that produce ova or eggs. This is your period. Pretty sure, you may know this. So your eggs and female hormones. After an ovum is expelled into the pelvic cavity, it passes through a fallopian tube into the uterus. If the egg has been fertilized by a sperm, it implants in the wall of the uterus and gestation begins, which means a baby is developing. Common manifestations of the womb, imbalances of in illness. By the way, I'm drinking on my flaxseed water. My flaxseed water to assist, which you should have read in chapter 3 about the fire drink, and actually this is in page 87. Don't worry about it, but that's what I'm sipping on. Anyways, menstrual health. Amenorrhea. There are many possible causes of primary and secondary amenorrhea, the absence of menstrual periods, including chronic absence of ovulation due to anatomic abnormalities, hypothalamus or pituitary dysfunction, other hormone system dysfunction, or genetic defects, excess exercise and stress, premature menopause, and pregnancy. See, so you too much exercise, no period. Not enough exercise, no period. Finding that sweet balance in between the two, that's key. So for some women who work out like extremely hard, they may skip a period. Some women who don't work out enough, they're not sweating enough. They're not producing enough endorphins to release and help drop the egg, right? Never mind. But dysmenorrhea, menstrual cramps, often results from uterine contractions during an ovulatory cycle, but a specific cause cannot be determined in every case. Two common causes of dysmenorrhea and endometriosis, growth of endometrial tissue outside of uterus, and fibroid tumors. Menorrhagia. Excessive duration or amount of menses often lasts 5 to 10 days and is accompanied by pain and discomfort and can occur with fibroids, endometriosis, or hormone dysfunction. Symptoms and signs: bloating, weight gain, and irritability, headache, depression, and edema. Sexually transmitted diseases: vaginitis, an inflammation of the vagina usually caused by bacterial or yeast infections. Symptoms and signs: vaginal burning or itching or discharge, and yellow or white foul-smelling discharge. Bacterial vaginosis. Bacterial vaginosis results from an overgrowth or particular vaginal bacteria. The prevalence of bacterial vaginosis is higher in African American women. Bacterial vaginosis has been associated with the use of some genital cleansing douching products. I have never douched a day in my life. Never mind. That's probably TMI, but I just don't understand. Excuse me. Where was I? Products. It can lead to low birth weight and preterm delivery, premature birth. Chlamydia, a bacterial infection that occurs primarily in the cervix in women and the urethra. Oh my gosh. Urethra. That's not how you say that. Urethra. maybe I am saying it right, urethra in men. If antibiotic treatment is not prescribed, it can lead to infertility in both women and men. Genital herpes, a sexually transmitted virus that appears around the genital area. Symptoms and signs include burning, itching, and the appearance of painful blisters. There is no cure, therefore, treatment is designed to relieve discomfort and prevent bacterial infection. Gonorrhea, one of the most common STDs, a bacterial infection that causes inflammation of the glands. If left untreated, it can cause pelvic inflammatory disease, infertility, or ectopic pregnancy. Treatment includes antibiotics. However, there are some strains that are resistant to treatment. Syphilis, a bacterial infection that multiplies rapidly in the body. It begins with a canker in the genital area. Left untreated, syphilis can result in serious symptoms from fever and headache to bone pain, mental deterioration, and even death. Syphilis can be treated with antibiotics, but it cannot be cured. You must see a doctor for treatment. Reproductive system disorders. Endometriosis. The endometrium is made up of cells that create the lining of the uterus. These cells can break away and grow inside the uterine cavity, implanting themselves within the pelvis, ovaries, appendix, bowels, and/or bladder. Symptoms and signs: menstrual cramps, chronic pain, pelvic scarrings, and adhesions within the womb may be associated with infertility. Fibroids, a mass or rapidly dividing cells that invade surrounding tissue. These cells rob neighboring normal cells of their nutrients. Symptoms and signs: pain and cramping, unusual bleeding or discharge, clotting, severe menstrual cramps, can also lead to miscarriages. Genital prolapse or a prolapsed uterus, a condition in which weakened pelvic muscles fail to hold the uterus and other pelvic organs in place, often due to prolapse, impacted colon, or complications from labor and childbirth. Symptoms and signs: weakened vaginal and bladder muscles, frequent urination, low back pain, abdominal pain may result in infertility, blocked tubes, and miscarriages. Pregnancy health. Pregnancy associated hypertension. Symptoms may include sudden elevation of blood pressure, headaches, visual disturbances, bloating, protein in the urine, can result in the death of both fetus and mother. A miscarriage, a spontaneous abortion, when a pregnant woman delivers or loses a fetus before the 20th week of pregnancy. Spontaneous abortion may result from infections, nutritional deficiency, structural or chromosomal abnormalities, diabetes, drug use, excess stress, and unknown causes. Preterm delivery, preterm delivery, or premature birth. Birth of a premature infant between 20 and 37 weeks old. The cause of premature delivery is often unknown. Risk factors include untreated bacterial vaginosis, poor nutrition, and previous preterm birth. Menopause. Menopause is not an illness or any form of disease, but rather is a part of woman's natural life process. It is the period of glandular changes that indicate the end of a woman's menstrual cycle. It signals a time when a woman has privilege of keeping her wise blood and shifts her perspective to make her choice heard in the larger community. Menopause is brought about by decreased production of the female sex hormones. It generally occurs between the ages of 42 and 52, but premenopausal symptoms can begin as early as 35. Symptoms and signs. While menopause is a natural part of our cycle, the indications that this is happening can be an easy, gentle process, or it can be a difficult time. Those women who eat poorly, do not get enough exercise, and live a stressful lifestyle may experience some or all of the following symptoms: severe nervousness, irritability, depression, overexcitability, headaches, abdominal pains, rushes of blood to the head and upper body called hot flashes, backaches, leg cramps, night sweats, and nosebleeds. However, we have the power to prevent our heal heal ourselves of these various toxic symptoms by eating live foods and fresh fruit, by fruit, drinking fresh fruit and vegetable juices and herbs teas, by maintaining a clean colon, by exercising and meditating daily, and above all, by healing or releasing all negative relationships and getting them out of our lives. On page 72, it is a womb wellness profile, right? The following womb wellness profile has been divided into 6 categories. I'm going to let you, ladies, look over that womb wellness profile, chart it, make some copies of it, see how it best serves you. So we are going to and then on page 74, she discusses how to interpret your scores. And then we are going to be on page 75. Many of the conditions in categories C through F indicate, okay, she's talking about the deep healing requires deep commitment. That is not how you say that word. Commitment. Okay. So many of the conditions in categories C through F indicate the existence of long-term challenges to womb wellness. It will take a serious commitment and disciplined effort to regain maximum womb wellness. In addition to radically changing your nutritional habits and general lifestyle, it is critical to seek the help of licensed health professionals such as a gynecologist, fertility specialist, psychotherapist, and so on. Joining a sacred womb circle for support and feedback is also highly recommended. To thoroughly rejuvenate your womb, you must be willing to commit to deep and constant cleansing. I feel like maybe this is where I'm supposed to be. Cleansing before you begin a long-term cleansing. Consider the following: give your womb a rest for maximum healing during the cleansing periods. Abstain or at least limit sexual intercourse. This would be an ideal time for you and your mate to explore alternative exercises to express your love-making desires. Women preparing to conceive a child should strive for a perfect score of 0. Beginning a pregnancy with a healthy womb reduces crisis during the pregnancy and creates a more balanced environment for mother and child in the making. Monitor your progress for a minimum of 4 cycles up to 12 cycles. Remember, womb wellness is a prerequisite for the 9 gateways of initiation. So definitely make some copies of the chart located on page 72, finishing up on page 74. Womb imbalance stops here. Healing the womb of your family. Attaining and maintaining, I almost dropped my book. Attaining and maintaining your womb wellness is a lifetime process. You will see the results of your cleansing according to your willingness to adopt the natural living lifestyle and your body's capacity to release the toxins that cause blockages to your wellness. Now that you have completed your womb wellness profile and know your score, keep in mind that this is just the beginning. You cannot get all the necessary work done in a couple of months. When you've been carrying so much discomfort for 5, 10, or 20 years, or perhaps all your life. All conditions begin at the beginning in the womb of your mother, and all mothers before her. If you start checking out the womb histories in your family, passed down from your grandmother, and her grandmother, you'll find that what's been going on with your womb follows some of the same patterns us as with your foremothers. This is partly because of the ingrained thoughts and attitudes, and partly because of the foods you've learned to eat from them, which is actually of greater importance. This chain of womb unwellness cannot come to an end until you realize that you're the only one who can change the whole energy pattern. I can say that because in every family there are always women like you. There's always one who stands out, who looks peculiar to the family, who does things a little bit differently, dresses a little differently, wears colors a little differently, and the family is always saying, "Why are you doing that?" In that woman, there's a light that refers to be turned down or off. No matter how the whole family has been functioning for hundreds of years, you are that light, that sacred woman in training. And you, sister, queen, have probably been feeling alone because you're the one who's so different. You've been feeling insecure, feeling isolated from your family. Remember, my sister, you are the healer. You are the one of the first mothers. You are the one who's going to show them another possibility, another way. You are the one. You are one of the medicine women the whole planet has been waiting for you to remember to bring forth the earth wisdom once more. We are the generation that must retrieve this knowledge. I couldn't ask my grandmother about her womb wisdom. She passed on. So I told my mother I was going to go to New Orleans to check my aunt and their friends. And my mother said, "I don't know who can help you. Maybe Aunt Sade." She was a little bit into the herbs, and I think maybe there was a midwife. This is when I realized that our most precious knowledge is dying out. We must cast this knowledge in our generations and then pass this knowledge down to our children so it remains alive in our daughters and our sons and our families. We must regain this wealth, this knowledge, the knowledge that we are medicine women. When we were left on these shores, when our captors would not take care of our health needs and we had to heal ourselves, what did our foremothers do? They prayed, they meditated, they turned into their inner voices, and then they went to nature, to the roots and the wild herbs. I always remembered the sacred elder women who would rock on their porches, and while they were rocking, they were aligning their energy centers, and they were humming, tuning into who they were, and listening to what they had to do to heal their child, their husband, or their sister, friend, or neighbor down the road. They would keep listening until they connected to the source, to the Most High, and they would hear what needed, what they needed to know. Ella almost started crying. Okay, this is the clay we need to put on this person's forehead. This is the bush or leaf or flower we need to get. George Washington Carver would speak to plants and they would hear. Our foremothers would pick up those energies, pick up all those energies and those vibrations and heal themselves and others as well. This is a part of our rich legacy. Much of this tradition lives on today in the islands. Island people are more often in tune because they're closer to the ways of Africa. Their culture was not dismantled or destroyed as much as ours. So they were able to hold on to a link with the motherland. Even though we've become more contaminated, the fast foods, the fast life, and have forgotten about the bush, forgotten about the natural way, The South still maintains that connection with the African mainland. I have memories of children being lined up for their bush teas and remedies. I have this memory not because I ever saw anyone actually standing in line, but because my DNA holds all these memories. As a result, I raised my children the urban medicine woman way. I wake them up every morning and say, "Here's your drink. Here's your herbs." In the afternoon, I check them out and say, "Oh, you have an attitude? Well, take this purge." That's our power. To know all things, to know how to connect, how to tap back into that sacred place of empowerment. We do that to heal ourselves and to inspire other people to come to us to learn how to heal themselves. Y'all. Whew. Like, if you're a woman and you this because it's resonating with me this whole entire time I'm reading this chapter, like I'm getting chills, and it's sending, like, memories just flooding through my head, because when I first announced to my family that I didn't want to eat meat anymore, or I was taking on to become a full-time yoga instructor, or any holistic avenue that I was really, diving deep into, that included stop smoking, stop drinking. Like, they was looking at me like I was weird. And I come from a very, how do you say it? I come from a very outspoken family. Like, nobody in my family knows what holding their tongue is. I'm pretty sure if we had a family dictionary, that it ain't in there. Okay. So, they very much expressed to me, like, what are you doing? Why are you not? And for a long time, it was really hard. Like, I didn't understand it. Um, but I paid attention to how my body was feeling. And then I became an observer of them. I think my family was my first teacher in how energy was affecting the body, or the food energy was affecting the body, how different, if they ate a particular a dish, how they would behave after. I really started to study them, their behaviors afterwards. Like, we went, out to eat to a seafood restaurant or whatever. Excuse me. How attitudes can change. Sometimes it's happy, but sometimes people can become more, um, a little bit more aggressive after they eat a certain type of meat, and it really just depends on, um, it depends on the person, but it also depends on the factors surrounding that meal. It depends on, well, how was this meat handled? How was it served? It depends on a lot. But you know, I don't want to go too far into that, but I really was just like, wow, like, was I acting like that after I ate, shrimp? Because I used to love me some shrimp, but yeah. And then even, like, after, like, when I first started getting, like, my period, like, for the first 2 days, don't talk to me, okay? Like, and this when I was younger, like, I couldn't go to school for my first day of period. Like, every time I had my period, I would, like, miss the first day of school. Um, or, especially if it fell on a weekday of school, like, I just couldn't go to school, like, the first 2 days of my period, because I would just have such horrible cramps. And my mother's, my mom's approach to this was, you better take these ibuprofen and get your behind to school. Like, get your ass on that bus and go to school. Anybody got time for this? Like, real deal. So, luckily, you know, I was, sometimes I was able to stay home, but um, soon enough, I started, figuring out ways to help myself heal. I would go walking the day before I started to feel like my period getting ready to come on. So I would walk. We had a track right across the street from our house, so I would walk, four laps around the track, and it would assist me in releasing some of those good um, endorphins into my blood, so I wouldn't, have such intense cramps. Like, I would still have cramps, but it just wouldn't be as intense. And that's when I started to realize that me working out was a good thing, especially for my period. But keeping that consistency was, something I had to learn to do. So which is going to just go right into this next part with the seasons of womb wellness. So, like, seriously and honestly, like, I really just love this chapter because um, my granny, like, she always had like a little tincture somewhere, rub this on that, and my mama was like, we gonna do it, but take that ibuprofen or take this Tylenol. My mom wanted the quick, remedy, the quickest thing, because she had 5 kids, my bad. She had 5 kids, and she had to go to work. Her and my stepdad were working to, provide for us. And if one's down, then that means somebody gotta take off work for the money to keep coming in. So this whole holistic thing wasn't always something that was easy for her to tap into, right? So me taking this approach to life, and then sending it or extending it down to my daughter, was just like, what? Because now my mom and my family members have to cater to the diet, especially if I'm allowing them to watch my child. Like, she not eating that. Like, y'all not gonna be giving her cheese. Like, it was a whole it's very big thing, but I will continue to read before y'all get to know me on levels y'all don't really care about. Right? So I keep moving around. So yeah. The first rule of being a good medicine woman, a really strong one, is that you've got to heal yourself. Okay, I figured this out early. I figured I had to heal myself, because if not, people are going to give you what they want to give you, and it don't matter about them. It don't matter about you at that moment. It's how it can better their situation and what they need you to do. So for my mama, it was take these ibuprofen and take your ass to school. Okay. That is why we begin with the womb wellness profile. It will help you chart the map of your growth. You may want to make copies of it so you can use it for an entire year. So she recommends a year for those charts, located on pages 72, 73, and 74. I believe that in 4 seasons you can resurrect and heal anything, because each season leads to do a different kind of healing work. Ashe. To give you an example, when you go into spring, you feel it's a time of renewal. Like a budding flower, you open up and let go. You'll be doing more exercising and dancing and singing, because it's one of the best times to open the womb. Then, when the summertime comes, if you're healthy, you don't get wiped out by the heat. Heat energizes you, and you really grow to your fullness. Then, in summer, your healing work can take you to a higher level. It's a time when the sun's rays can heal you. The sun purges, cleanses, and recharges the physical and spiritual body. In the autumn, your revitalized body temple will go into a state of rest. All the activity you completed in the summer will bow to the crisp chill of autumn. In the cooler weather, you'll be moved to meditate on the good that you've done for yourself. And when the winter comes, you deepen and extend your stillness. You'll write down your visions, your dreams, your thoughts in your sacred womb journal. You won't be inclined to go out as much. It's a good time to make full use of that quiet inner time because the spring will come again. And when it does, you you're really wait, and when it does, you're really on home ground, ready to achieve higher and higher levels of womb wellness. Reviewing your cycles. Let's look at cycle 1 on your womb wellness profile. Make a note of how long your menstrual flow lasts because you may flow half a day less or more from one cycle to another, and you need to know what's really going on. The initial change may not represent a big jump. It may be one day less. It may be half a day less, even a quarter of a day, or you may have a cycle in which you go from 8 days of bleeding down to 4 days. Although there isn't usually such a big jump in such a short span of time, don't forget that a commitment to healing makes all things possible. Make a note, first of all, I skipped a lot. We're not going to do that. It takes a while to heal the womb. Make a note of your current womb status on the chart and make additional notes about conditions you are experiencing and whichever issues apply to you in the first part of Sacred Womb Journal questions. For example, if there's a vaginal discharge, if it happens every single day, it's chronic. If you have a vaginal discharge that occurs 2 or 3 times a week, then it's there, but it's not as chronic. If you have a discharge once a week, then you have a lower score. Again, the goal during each cycle is to get to 0, which means the womb is whole and well. The lower the score, the healthier the womb. While you may start off with higher numbers, a new cycle begins every 25 to 28 days. Although the normal length of your cycle may vary, as you start to apply the Heal Thyself techniques, your score should become lower and lower. Womb Wellness Profile Question and Answer. My menses have stopped. How do I record that? Make a note of that and put down the year that it happened. I have seen a few menopausal women who ended up getting their menses again, so the date is important. How long you've been menopausal will be an indication of whether you might be able to reverse it. The reason women would want to reverse menopause is the hormonal shift can cause serious health problems for postmenopausal women. When you tell us to keep track of our periods, do we put down the dates between periods or from beginning to end? These are great questions. If I mean the cycle of time from beginning to end, you may spot for 2 days, but there's part of your menses, but that's still part of your menses. So you have to add up the entire time. You may have a heavy flow for 2 days and then spot for 3. Include all that and make a note of the heaviness or lightness of the flow. Let's say you used to have kidney or low back pain, or you had bloating, or your skin was breaking out, or you had mood swings and you were eating a diet that was feeding your toxicity. But when you changed your diet and started detoxifying your system, you moved out of what realm? You moved out of that realm, excuse me. Your womb wellness profile will show you your progress. That's why we need to keep a record of of our previous cycle. For example, I have a history of asthma, and if I eat a certain way, it can recur. If you go back to the same old unnatural lifestyle, then the same womb problems are going to recur. If you've had a tumor removed, it will be more likely to grow back in a year or two if you continue consuming dairy products or if you're living in a highly stressed emotional state. Do you fill out all the questions again in cycle 2 after you've monitored your womb for 1 month? Each cycle, you should fill in the questions that apply to you, the way you have a personal record of your womb history. The important facts of your womb wellness profile can also be a part of your Sacred Womb Journal work. If you find something that is not a simple yes or no for you, that's a strong signal to explore it further. You have to get more information, and this is the perfect time to turn to your Sacred Womb Journal. For example, you might write, I had my menses for 10 days and then a clot came out, so I went back to the doctor. Or, for 3 or 4 months, my menses went down to 4 days and I was having no clotting. I didn't have any more PMS. And I remember I was drinking Womb Works tea. I was doing more clay packs and castor oil packs and made other changes. That's why I had a different reading. That's the kind of information you want to start to record in your Sacred Womb Journal. It will demonstrate to you that as you begin taking more responsibility for your womb wellness, your healing starts to take place. Y'all, this is what I was talking about. This is the chapter that's telling you about the flaxseed drink. So y'all know I've been reading. I was just kind of skimming ahead real quick just to kind of keep up with myself. We're kind of like an hour and a half into this already. But so the Sacred Woman's Womb Wellness Diet. Okay, so here she's. The more you cleanse the body, the easier it is to make healthy changes. As you look over the Sacred Womb Wellness Diet, you'll see that this womb diet is basically vegetarian. While you don't have to be vegetarian to get on board with your womb wellness, you do need to start cutting back on flesh foods. Beginning. If you are able to make a change, I just put a word there that wasn't there. If you are able to make a change now and you've been eating all levels of flesh, graduate to fresh fish, not shellfish, for the next 21 days. Just fish as fresh as you're able to find. It is the least toxic of all the flesh foods. Keep in mind all the chemicals, all the antibiotics, steroids, and other hormones that are injected into our meat supply. They completely disrupt our hormonal balance. Don't forget that the more you take in something that bleeds, the more you will bleed. So you want to come off the beef right now. See, and beef was the first thing I cut off, and that was prior to even reading this book. I promise you, like when I cut beef off, first of all, I watched this video and it showed me how they be killing them cows. And y'all, I could not look at my daddy's steak the same way. It was horrible. Like I felt bad. Like I felt like, damn, I'm eating that cow that was killed like that. Like no, I don't want that. So either way, so you want to come off the beef right now. You want to come off the chicken. If you crave that taste, then work with the flesh food alternatives. Oh my goodness. If y'all eat ramen noodles, which is, I'm not going to talk about you. If you do eat ramen noodles, that's between you and your stomach. Especially if you eat especially if you eat the chicken flavored ramen noodles. I'm telling you, I found this curry and I put that curry on like all my noodles because it just reminds me of like chicken ramen noodles. Like I really think that the person who created chicken ramen was really trying to embody like that curry flavor, but they just wanted to kill people, so they threw in all that sodium, all that salt, and just like messed up curry. But I'm telling you, get you some good curry powder. Oh my gosh, get you some good curry. Get you some like spring onions. I think that's what they call them, little green ones. And get you some carrots and get you some real onions and chop up in there with some broccoli. And then put like some cayenne pepper, a little bit of red pepper flakes. I love spicy food, by the way. So all of these spicy drinks that she have in here was like right up my alley. Okay, so that fire drink, that rising drink for the rising with the olive oil, the cayenne, the lemon, and it's cayenne, lemon, olive oil. I think that might be it. It's on page 88. But yeah, it's the juice of lemon, cayenne, water. I forgot water. But yeah, that is like one of my favorite go-to drinks. I love drinking that in the rising to just kind of start my day. But uh, back to what we were talking about, or I was talking about. So definitely try to make you like some curry noodles, sprinkle it on you some tofu or however you choose to make your substitutions for your vegetarian vegan meals. Okay, this is your journey. This is up to you how you choose to eat, right? Again, she says you can still consume fish. I don't eat fish. I don't eat anything that has eyes or anything. Although I grew up fishing. Like some days I really miss fishing. I showed my daughter how to fish because my granny taught me how to fish. And I feel like that's a skill that we are always going to need is how to fish because in any situation, if I have to eat a fish, I'm gonna eat it. I never showed my daughter how to scale a fish and kill it and all of that, but she at least knows how to put the fish on the hook. But maybe, I probably should teach her that part too. I don't really know. But um, yeah, my granny taught me that. You know what I'm saying? She instilled in us, these skills very early on. So I think my first time, like gutting, like catching my own fish, scaling it, gutting it, and all of that. I think I was like fourth grade. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was like in the fourth grade or maybe even the third grade. I was really young out there doing a lot of that stuff. And I didn't think nothing of it. You know what I'm saying? Like cut down a whole chicken, like butcher a whole chicken, cut it up to a little 10 piece, like country girl, okay? So I can do all that, but that's not the point. I don't do it no more. Like, I love fish. Like, what's up, Nemo? What's up, Dory? Holla at me. You know, Marlin. Y'all love Disney, okay? Not the point. Anyways, back to the reading, which is located on page 78. We're up under Going Vegetarian. So you want to come off the beef right now. You want to come off the chicken. If you crave that taste, then work with the flesh food alternatives. Work with soy proteins. Try soy chicken or soy turkey. There's even soy bacon. Ooh, oh my gosh. Soy bacon. Like, there's this bacon. If y'all ever go to Atlanta, um, Atlanta's vegan breakfast, y'all gotta try them. Like, love that place. Okay, I was up in there going crazy. It's expensive. I mean, it's a little pricey. I don't want to use the term expensive. It's a little on the pricey end. However, every morsel every piece of food, because right now my mouth won't even allow me to speak about it because I'm just like salivating on the inside thinking about them biscuits. Okay, they were good, right? So we want this first stage of purification to be a painless womb process, and so your protein source will be fish or soy. Advance. If you are ready to take the plunge into the deep cleansing work and go vegetarian, the protein sources in your diet will be beans, peas, lentils, and limited amounts of nuts and seeds. Just don't overindulge in the nuts and seeds because you'll bleed as heavily as you do on flesh foods. Don't forget that overindulgence in any proteins feeds tumors. The womb wellness diet calls for vegetarian protein, so if you're having fish, then on Monday, have fish. Tuesday, black beans with brown rice or millet and vegetables. Wednesday, fish with vegetables. Thursday, kidney beans, and so on. So she's saying alternate the fish, right? So, alternate, like how she just went. I'm not going to repeat that, but just alternate fish, veggie. You got it. There are primary enemies that attack the womb on a dietary level. One is flesh foods, one is dairy, another is white flour products. Milk, cheese, ice cream, eggs, and flesh foods feed a tumor. Tumors grow on something inside of you, and they don't come out of the air. Hello. Um, when you add all the intense emotions you're feeling, anger, pain, frustration, to meat, dairy, and white flour foods, you're giving your tumors a banquet. Every time you find yourself eating heavy foods, you're giving your body negative affirmations. You're saying, I'm angry, because eating that flesh is an expression of anger or rage. You're tired because when you eat heavy foods, you get tired. You feel lifeless, and so your body is not able to assist and support you. But when you cleanse, your body literally wakes up with when something foreign enters it. Your body will automatically begin to expel toxic foods, just as it will begin to expel toxic thoughts or toxic attitudes. That's when we're striving for, that's what we're striving for. So work on those principles as you follow your womb diet as closely as you can. So in also doing some of this, be cognizant and mindful that when you're going through this process, your body will, like she says, it will begin to expel um, toxicity, right? So you might start to see like blemishes. If you have clear skin and this is your first time going on a cleanse like this, you may possibly see some type of pimples popping up because your body is figuring out ways on how to get those that toxicity out of your body. And sometimes if it can't expel itself through the bowels or through mucus in the nose or mucus through the mouth, then it's going to come out in your pores. It's going to come out when you sweat. So maybe you will start to smell a different way, but it is to assist you in continuing to purge and cleanse the body. And I'm speaking about this because I went through this, right? When I first was starting to detox on meat, like I looked like a monster because my body was like, ma'am, what are you doing? And uh, it was a shock, right? So just be easy on yourself. Be very gentle with yourself. Be very loving to yourself. Be very in your heart space and open to the continued healing and the continued journey that you're on, because it's very much a journey and it's very much going to assist you. The next part is going to be talking about the natural herbs, just wounds and tears. Continue to read through this portion of this for chapter 4. Um, chapter page 82 is good. It's telling you what to eat and what not to eat. She also provides you page 82 with juices, things to add to your juices. I believe I showed you all in one of the videos that I have wheatgrass. I also have spirulina. I have a lot of, powders and herbs, just like everywhere. So make sure that you really tap into this. Make sure you are getting your vitamins, your vitamin E's, your vitamin B's and C's, which she talks about on page 83 as well, which is the nutritional supplement choices, the spirulina, the wheatgrass, the blue-green algae, right? And then on page 84, she just has some recipes for you to look through. Ooh, that seaweed and okra salad, make it how you need to, but I love some good okra. It's good for spiritual work. It is, okra is top tier. I don't care where you're from. Okra is really top tier and it tastes so good. Like, if your granny ain't never made you some okra and what? I mean, grandma, granny, I call my granny because she my granny, right? So get into that. And then you just have your warrior queen juice. Oh, that. And at first I was kind of like skeptical because that juice has broccoli in it. And I had never thought about juicing a broccoli before, but it's actually quite good. So get into this. I did not do the garden green juice with the green beans because I like my green beans with a lot of black pepper and onions. So I skipped that. But please get into this book. 85 talks about the mucus trip and how to clear mucus, or what mucus means in certain parts of the body. Like mucus in your eyes causes cataracts and poor vision. Mucus in your ears causes loss of hearing. And wax in the ears, wax in the nose is sinus congestion, colds, and loss of voice. And then she talks about cleaning the colon and how important it is to clean the colon. Like, some women are not having periods because their colon is full of fecal matter, right? So she talks about these enemies of the womb and menses and elimination. So she also provides the colonist wellness. 87, and then 88 we get into the fire element morning drink. We get into the ginger bath. We start talking about the breast on page 89. And then just gentle natural care of your breasts on page 90, being gentle with them, and to do you a hot shower and stimulate your breasts and detoxify them. One thing I will say real quick is to get you some coconut oil and massage your coconut oil on your breast. It is going to provide a lot of stimulation to the area, and any area that's getting stimulation, it's also going to provide what is the word? Circulation, which provides more collagen and keeps your breasts looking nice and healthy and full. So make sure that you are stimulating or doing breast checks and massaging and just giving yourself some love. So yes, please continue to read this chapter. She also goes on to talk about clay and healing drinks. She talks more about the wheatgrass on page 96. Saunas. I love a good sauna. Okay, saunas are everything. I love a good sauna. Steam baths, like, get into it, honey. Sun bath. I try to sun bath like all the time. Not all the time, but I really do enjoy the sun because it is one of those energizing components that many people try to run from. It's like, sweetheart, you are melanated, okay? Get into that. Like, your body receives downloads from the sun. If you're not in the sun, then you are depriving yourself of natural nutrients. You're depriving yourself of knowledge. You're depriving yourself of what you need. Okay, so make sure you out and getting those sun baths. And then chapter 4 ends on page 120. So this is such a long chapter. So I might pick this back up, do a breakup, 2 parts to chapter 4, maybe come back. I'm not gonna say it here because I don't want to be a liar, right? And I've been realizing that I've been saying stuff on here and I have not been following through, y'all. I'm a work in progress, and I appreciate you for acknowledging and still continuing to show up and watch these videos, okay? Because I'm working on me. Okay, so thank you so much for joining this week for our Sacred Woman chat and being here and sharing energy and sharing space. Remember to wake up and meditate. Do not give your energy to anybody, anything, or any particular situation that is going to try to drain you or make you less than the person that you are trying to become, because guess what? That ain't the plan. The plan is for you to become your highest self. The plan is for you to step, walk, grow into your power and to continue to flourish, right? So with that being said, peace, love, and light. Gratitude again. Ashe.